And hello everyone, welcome back to your Meteor tutorial. Today we'll be working on this styling in our Meteor app. Because currently if we go look here, there's basically no styling. So to say the least, our app looks pretty disgusting. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some styling just to make it look a bit better. So if you want to follow along here, I do recommend you go to, I believe 4 should have it, but to be safe, go to 5 or even 8. Just go to 8 actually in our source files and just go to client and go to the main.css file, and here you can just copy your CSS, because I'm not going to walk through the CSS because this isn't a CSS course, it's a Meteor course, or at the very least a JavaScript course. So we're not going to go through all of that. So if you go here to your file explorer in VS Code, you should have under client main.css. If you click on that, then you should see this, probably not exactly as this, but yeah, you can just delete this if you have any CSS in here, and boom. And in here we can just uncomment this. Whoops, I believe I saw an uncomment flag right there. And there we go. So you can just, if you don't want to go to 8, I will be adding some extra CSS as time goes on. So if you don't want to go exactly to 8, you can probably go to 4. I believe there should be the same in 4 if you go to client and main.css. Then yes, if you go to the 4th lesson, then you should still see all of the CSS we'll be using in this tutorial. This is for the next tutorials, but if you have copied from 8, you don't have to comment these out. I'm just doing it for future reference. Anyhow, so we can save that and let this refresh, and then you can add the actual styling. So I'm going to just close that tab right there. And here we go. So once you have copied and pasted all of this, then you will see something like this. Currently it doesn't look that good, but we're going to make it look a bit better. So we can close our CSS file for we don't need it. Perfect. Now we can go to app.jsx and we can close this by pressing Ctrl and B. There we go. Now we need to add a few classes just to make the app look pretty good. So right here under return, we can just say class name, and we can call it app. And it will just give it a little bit of better styling. So underneath that, we want a header because we want to have a title. So let's just go in here and say header. And instead of this header, we can just cut this H1 we have here, paste it there. And then we also need 2 more divs. We need a div with the class name app bar. And also inside of that div, we need a div with the class name app header. And remember, this is just emit for VS Code, so this just means create a div with this class. To do that, now we have 2 divs, one with the app bar class name and one with the app header class name. We can then just cut this and put that in there, and this will be our header. You can probably rename this to something you want right now, so let's say my to-do app, and there we go. Save it, and you should see a little bit of better styling right there. I think that looks a lot better. Okay, and in here we can create a new div, and this div will have a class name of main. So there we go, and there's our div. We can then cut this and put it inside of that, and there we go. Then this UL, we want to give that a class name as well. So if I could just focus my cursor there, class name of tasks. Save that, and this should look a lot better. That looks so much better. So you don't really need to know the CSS behind this, you just need to know that adding a class name will allow the styling to set in. And I believe this already looks so much better than what it was. And perfect, that is actually all I wanted to cover. I just wanted to add some good styling here, just to make everything look a bit better, because currently it didn't look that good. But now if we add a task, it looks good, and we have a new task. We can check it, we can delete that task if we want to. Perfect. In the next video, we'll learn how to filter it so we don't have to see the ones we have already done. Because sometimes when you check the task, you don't really want to see it anymore because you've already done it. And you don't really want to delete it anymore so if you have to go back and see what did you do that day. So we're going to focus on hiding what has been completed. Thank you for watching. I hope your app looks just as good as mine right now, and I'll see you all again in the next tutorial.